Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Just a reminder, I think it's on Channel 5 on Friday, not Saturday, Friday. There's an excellent matchup between Sam Eggington and a German fighter by the name of ABASS BARAOU. Now, this is for the vacant EBU super-welterweight title. Eggington has been welterweight champ at British, Commonwealth and EBU. Has held a version of the IBO super welterweight title, but the IBO is the IBO. It's not considered one of the main four, rightly or wrongly. So this is, having won and lost that IBO title, he's dropped down. He was last seen beating up Joe Pigford, who was undefeated at the time, stopped him in 5 rounds, completely outclassed him and dominated him. And Sam, believe it or not, is still only 30 years of age. I think he's only just turned 30. An incredible career, reads like a who's who of British and European fighters. He's currently 30 wins with 20 KOs, 8 defeats, 2 by stoppage. And I don't think he's got any draws. I don't think there's any draws. Whereas ABASS BARAOU is 14 wins, and I think it's 9 KOs and 1 defeat, which was on points. He's 29, so they're similar, very similar in age, but in terms of experience, it's chalk and cheese. BARAOU's 1 defeat came in 2020. I want to say it was the second half of 2020. It was against Jack Culcay, another German fighter, and he lost a split decision. And I remember watching that fight. I might have watched it on YouTube, actually. But he kind of got old man, you might say, by Culcay, who I think he's in his late 30s now, but at the time he was in his probably 34, 33, 34. And he just had too much experience and a bit too much nous and know-how for BARAOU, who put up a very good fight. And like I say, it was a split decision loss, but he probably learnt an awful lot from that fight. Now, the question is, even though he's a very similar age to Eggington, is Eggington, with all that experience, with all those incredible wars that he's had, is he going to be able to do the same thing to BARAOU that Jack Culcay did? Is he going to have too much know-how, too much savvy, and kind of outwork BARAOU? By the way, I should point out this is in Telford, and so it's not over in Germany. So, home cooking maybe. I don't, maybe Sam very rarely gets the rub of the green, but he might do on this occasion because he's from I think Birmingham way, isn't he? He's from West Midlands somewhere. So let's hope they're fair judges. We don't want to see BARAOU ripped off. If he wins legitimately, I want to see him get the decision. But there have been occasions when Sam, he's lost very close fights. I mean, I'm thinking of the Ted Cheeseman one in particular. His last fight was against Joe Pigford, who was undefeated in 20 at the time. He got smashed to bits in 5 rounds. Sam had too much of everything for Pigford. Experience, power, poise, determination, self-belief. If he can bring all that in against BARAOU, then he's got a very, very good chance of winning. I mean, Sam is, he's 5'11", which for the 154 weight limit is, nice height. Tall, quite tall for a welterweight, of course, but it's still a good height for 154. He's an orthodox fighter, so is BARAOU. I think BARAOU's shorter by a couple of inches, maybe. I haven't seen a great deal of BARAOU. I saw him against Culcay. I've seen him at bits and pieces that are on YouTube. Good box fighter, decent, pretty good guy. But I would have to say, when you consider who Eggington's faced, it's just like a who's who, isn't it? Even though good people have, I mean, some of the fights he's had, that Bilal Jikitu, is that the guy's name? Jikitu. That was a 12-round split decision back in 2021. I mean, that was a fight of the year. He stops people like Ashley Theophane, who was at the tail end of his career. That was coming off the back of the Ted Cheeseman defeat, which is a unanimous decision, close one, but unanimous. He stopped Paulie Malignaggi when he was at the back of his career. So, I mean, he got stopped in 5 rounds by Liam Smith, but there's no shame in that. He was, yeah, like I say, at welterweight, he was British, Commonwealth, and European because he I can't remember who he won the EBU title off, but he lost it against Mohamed Mimouni. That was a split decision as well, so that was another tough fight. I mean, this guy, Bradley Skeet, beat him, I think, over 12. Who else have we got? I mean, those fighters, Denton Vassell, Glenn Foote, people like that were just never going to hang with Sam. He was just too tough. I mean, he's even older. I think he holds a 10-round win over Dave Ryan. This goes back that far. I mean, and he's been a pro, Sam, since 2012. So he's in his 12th year of being a professional. But with all those miles on the clock, you do have to wonder, is he finally going to get old overnight? Because whereas it's very, very easy to see him, old man in ABASS BARAOU, and doing to him, maybe not in such dramatic fashion, but using all that, bringing what he brought to the Joe Pigford party, bringing that to BARAOU, and maybe not knocking him out as easily, but being too much of everything for him. At the same time, the flip side of that is that Eggington might get old overnight, in which case it's, dancing rah-rah girls for ABASS BARAOU. He's going to be EBU champ. Even though he's an old 30, I think what we can see is we're going to see Sam having to take some punches like he always does. He's never been the greatest defensive fighter. He's got good power, but he's not really a one-punch hitter. He boxes well, but often neglects it because he likes to tear up. I've always thought of him as being a very good European-level fighter. Probably not world-class, but, on the cusp of world-class sort of thing. BARAOU, if you look at his record, you take out the Culcay defeat, there aren't really many people on there that you'd sort of recognise. I mean, even if you look at their records, I mean, in fairness, most of them got winning records. He did beat John. Was it O'Donnell? He beat him. I can't remember the result, but I'm sure he beat John O'Donnell for one of those WBC or WBA trinkets that they dish out. He does have a win over Carlos Molina, who, by the way, also fought Sam. So he's got a couple of semi-names or older fighters. Like Molina was just picking up paychecks by the end of when he started fighting the Eggingtons and the BARAOUs of the world, he was pretty much collecting paychecks. But he's still a very, very good fighter. And he took Eggington and BARAOU the distance. So, yeah, okay, legitimate win. But recently, last couple of years, I'm not seeing. I didn't see many names on the record. I'm going to say that Sam it'll be a mixture of box fighting from Sam, like it normally is. And I can see him, when BARAOU is fresh, BARAOU is going to have some success. He's going to land his own punches with both hands. I think it'll be a bit of a tit for tat for maybe about 4 rounds. Obviously, this is a 12-rounder because it's an EBU title fight. But I can see Sam taking over from about the 5th. BARAOU will be tough. I can see him being resilient. I can see him still landing his own punches, having success. But I don't see Sam Eggington getting old overnight with this particular fight. I think there might be a little bit of fuel left in the tank. And his chin's always been fantastic as well, Sam Eggington. I mean, Liam Smith, I don't think Liam Smith even put him on the floor, did he? Even though he stopped him in 5 rounds, Sam's got a good jaw. So I can see Sam nitpicking his way, box fighting his way, having, probably the final say in most of the exchanges. He's got a very underrated jab, Sam has, uses his feet quite well. I can see him outpointing ABASS BARAOU over 12 rounds and becoming a 2-weight EBU champ. I think BARAOU just lacks a little bit of, and again, I haven't seen a great deal of him, but he just lacks a little bit of something, a little bit, and he's away from home. I mean, he has fought in the US, because I was quite surprised to see that when I looked at his box rec earlier. And I think the John O'Donnell fight was in Britain as well. I want to say he's fought in Britain. There are another couple of places. Well, Finland he's fought, or something like that. Maybe I got that wrong. Switzerland, Finland. I don't know. I was looking at his box rec earlier, and I saw a few, because I thought he'd spent most of his career in Germany, but he has fought abroad. I think he fought in Dubai, but God knows who against. I can't remember. So he's travelled a little bit, and I don't think he'll be intimidated by Telford, although it'll be a home crowd for Sam Eggington. But I think when all is said and done, I think Eggington is going to have a little bit too much left for him. It'll be close, might even be a majority decision, but I see Eggington winning the fight. 115, 113, maybe 116, 112 on one of the cards. But again, could be closer than that, could be. But I think he'll just nick it, Eggington, just nick it. So yeah, what do you think? You're looking forward to this fight? Don't forget, it's on Friday night, not Saturday. So make sure you put that in your diaries. A bit of boxing on Channel 5, I think it is. And yeah, let me know who you think is going to win and why. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel if you're new. And hit the like button as well. I think this will be a good fight. I think this will be a good one. Yeah. From what I've seen of Barrow, the styles I think are going to gel quite well. And then when is Sam Eggington ever in a dull fight? Come on now, let's be real here. All right. Thanks a lot for your time as always. I'll catch you later, and bye for now.